In 1965, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led a rally from Roxbury, a predominantly black neighborhood in Boston, to the Boston Common. With a crowd of 20,000 singing and chanting freedom songs, that rally marked one of the first civil rights marches in the Northeast. On Friday, more than 50 years later, a 20-foot-tall monument was unveiled at the country's oldest public park honoring Dr. King and Coretta Scott King's legacy. Titled The Embrace, the sculpture symbolizes the hug the couple shared after Dr. King won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. The artist Hank Willis Thomas, who was chosen in 2019 along with mass design group out of 126 submissions, said that with so many monuments dedicated to war, he crafted a sculpture that spreads a message of love and reiterates the King's message of nonviolence and solidarity. You never wake up and that alone, the fact that I was able to be a part of that, is just humbling and dumbfounding. Although Thomas, 46, was not alive during Dr. King's lifetime, he said he lived to see Mrs. King's trailblazing efforts to establish Martin Luther King Day as a national holiday. With the release of Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday, celebrating Dr. King, and a petition with 6 million signees delivered by Mrs. King and Wonder to the U.S. Senate, the two were able to raise awareness in support of a national holiday. In the years to come, Mrs. King continued to push for national recognition. In that photograph of them in 1964, his arms are wrapped around her but also his weight is on her, Thomas said. To see her so gracefully and lovingly carrying that weight, it was a metaphor for what she was able to do throughout a huge portion of my life. The 19-ton bronze artwork was made up of about 609 pieces welded together in Washington by the Walla Walla Foundry and transported to Boston. The Embrace, now a permanent fixture in Boston Common, sits on the 1965 Freedom Plaza, which honors 69 local civil rights leaders from the 1950s to the 1970s. African American quilting practices were also used as a template for the plaza's diamond-shaped stones. Embrace Boston, a non-profit organization that works toward racial and economic justice and is a part of the Boston Foundation, helped provide resources and $10.